We need an army in this room. Each and every one of you must build an army. I came to Canada knowing that I would face banning. And of course, I chuckle, because if I don't chuckle, I would cry. I chuckle because they want to ban me, where you have imams spouting the most vile Jew hatred, calling for the slaughter of the Jews. No charges are filed. And it's not one time, it's not two times, it's not Canada, New Jersey, just the other day, Texas, number of imams in California. Everybody shrugs. Could you imagine if a rabbi or a priest called for the wholesale slaughter of Muslims? Earthquake! I'd be behind bars. Here we are, flogged on a regular basis with this non-existent Islamophobia. And when I say that, I'm talking about basic statistics coming out of the FBI. There is no such thing. What Islamophobia is a device that is used to crush any criticism of Islam. Anybody that speaks candidly about jihadic doctrine is a racist, Islamophobic, anti-Muslim bigot. The fact that Islam is not a race is irrelevant. The fact that the jihadi in Edmonton, the jihadi a couple days ago at the Port Authority in New York City, the Chattanooga jihadi, the San Bernardino jihadi, the Berlin jihadi, the Paris, we don't have time, are all inspired by Quranic doctrine is something we are not allowed to say. Well, I will tell you why I will say it. I will say it to my last breath, because what we face is the gravest threat to our freedom. I look at what's happening in Canada, and it is deeply worrying. I mean, it's interesting how critical elections are, because I have to tell you, one of my favorite world leaders was Stephen Harper. I love that man. And you went from that to Trudeau. I mean, it's just incredible. Here you have a man who is now cutting, no pun intended, female genital mutilation from citizens' governments. Now, what could be motivating him? Perhaps it's PTSD. You know, when he was a kid, his mother was at Sleep 54. She had lady bits all hanging out. I don't know. But he's not well. Okay? And you have in Edmonton a jihadi who ran through a police check, ran down an officer, got out of the car, stabbing him, and he's not even charged. But in Florida, you have a man, Michael Wolff, who is sentenced to 15 years in prison for leaving bacon at the doorstep of a mosque. 15 years in prison, and then after he serves the 15 years, probation.
That's a piece of God's jail.
And I can tell you that if you look at FBI statistics, anti-Jewish hate crime is over double. Synagogues, tombstones, Jewish tombstones, 300 in Philadelphia, knocked down, destroyed, not a word. Nothing. We are living in an age of the absurd. We are living in an age of the big lie. I got into this fight so organically, so by accident. I mean, I was completely apolitical before 9/11. I love my music, I love my fashion, I love my job, I love my life. I just assumed my freedom. I assumed my freedom. I never thought that it could be in jeopardy. The good cop was on the beat. We won. He defeated evil in World War II. We were in a post-historical mindset. My whole premise was wrong. My whole epistemology was off. When those towers came down, the whole nature of my thinking came with it. My freedom was not free. And it was in jeopardy. And who did this? I felt guilty. Who did it? And then when I found out, I felt guilty still. I didn't understand it. Islam. It was like Hinduism, Buddhism, Christianity, paganism, Christian Sciences. It was a religion to me. I thought it was like every other religion, but it's not. Unlike Judaism, Jewish law pertains only to Jews. Canon law pertains only to Christians. Islamic law asserts its authority over non-Muslims, which is why you see the wholesale slaughter, persecution, and oppression of non-Muslims and religious minorities living under Islamic law in Muslim countries. I did not know this. I read the Quran. I read Ibn Mubarak. I read Bachayur. I read Robert Spencer. And the more I read, the more blown away I was, and the more the media and the elites weren't talking about it. You think it's an accident that a week after 9/11, on 9/18/2001, President Bush goes to mosque in Washington, D.C. with a terror-tied group, Council of American Islamic Relations, Muslim Brotherhood Group, ISNA, Islamic Society of North America, and declares that Islam is a religion of peace? Things don't just happen. They are made to happen. You have to make things happen. You know, I stumbled upon an old Britannica encyclopedia from 1965, and I looked up Islam. And under Islam was a drawing of Muhammad. A drawing of Muhammad? And Muhammad is holding the Quran and he's holding the Surah in the 1965 Standard Britannica Law Book. And it says, the Prophet of Islam, Muhammad, holding the two symbols of Islam. All true. And then I went, because I had it, to look at a World Book Encyclopedia from the year 2000, before 9/11, under Islam. And it is completely scrubbed, whitewashed, Joe Esposito, Karen Armstrong apologists. It's a religion of peace, and Muhammad engaged in warfare, he is in defense, the whole thing. My point is, this was going on for decades. We are not going to solve this overnight. This is going to take decades. And first, we must get armed in the information battle space. First, learn everything, and then teach everyone. Because everything that you're seeing, the bullets, the bombs, and the bloodshed, comes as a result of what happens in the war of ideas. And by the way, we're losing. We've lost the colleges and the universities. We've lost the media. If you have children, tell them to go into journalism. We don't do that. We build lives, we build homes, we on the right are individual rights advocates. We don't want government, we don't want policy. Well, that luxury is over. The American century is over. And all the fumes that the whole world was breathing, that clear, crystal air of freedom, is now polluted. And it's not going to go away by itself. I mean, after 9/11, I did all this reading, and increasingly I found myself online because it was the only place, it was the last frontier of freedom of speech. And I would leave comments on Counter Jihad blogs until somebody said, some other commenter, a student at an Ivy League school sent me a template for a blog that said, you should blog. I was like, what's a blog? He said, shut up and start writing. So everything you see, Ground Zero Mosque, all of the ads, the protests, the art exhibits, all is, the mothership was the website. And you should subscribe, it's free. I work on it 24 hours, 7 days a week. And I want to say something about Canada. Unlike any other country I've seen, is you have the best bloggers and alternative media. You have Ezra Levant, you have in the audience Blazing Catfur. I don't know if you subscribe to that. You must subscribe, you must share. You're not going to get this news anywhere else. 5 Feet of Fury, I'm telling you. You have something extraordinary here. You have extraordinary truth tellers. And believe me, my favorite thing is the Islamophobia business. As if you could get rich in this business. It's incredible. I mean, before Council of American Islamic Relations stopped reporting their the 501c3 status in America, tax-exempt status, you have to report. So before they stopped reporting, they didn't lose their status under Obama. They got $50 million from the Saudis, one shot. There's no money in this. There's no glory in this. You are defamed, marginalized, and smeared. You are monsterized. How did I go from being, you know, a New York City glam girl to the country's most notorious racist Islamophobe? I was named last week by The Guardian the world's top Islamophobe. And yet, the Trudeau government says that you can't condemn ISIS. Condemning ISIS is Islamophobic. Well, let me tell you something. He's right. Because any opposition to jihad terror is classified as Islamophobia. Any response to jihad terror is considered Islamophobia. You are not allowed to criticize Islam. And this is what we're fighting. M103 is a disaster. It is a slippery slope to complete totalitarianism. You must fight back. No one's going to fight this fight for you. No one is going to win this war for you. I can tell you that I live under constant threat. I want to thank the JDL, God bless them, for providing my security. Because I oppose jihad terror, I do not oppose Muslims, I oppose a very bad ideology. I do not suggest that all Muslims are terrorists. I don't have to pat on the back every Muslim that doesn't want to kill me. That's what they want me to do. No, I won't do that. I oppose a bad ideology. And until I see Muslims in the street screaming the way they scream against the Jewish state, screaming against Islamic terror, screaming against female genital mutilation, screaming against Islamic Jew hatred, screaming against the wholesale slaughter of Christians in Muslim countries. Until I see that, I will remain skeptical. Why is it that the tiny Jewish state, this little pitsquilla, okay, no oil, no gold, one thing they have, a Jew. They never had it. That this tiny state could produce such hatred and ire, surrounded by enormous Muslim countries. So please don't tell me it's about land. This is a country 9 miles in its wide, surrounded by an entire region. The Jewish state is deeply offensive to devout Muslims. It is deeply humiliating and deeply offensive. We must demand of the Muslim world that they expunge Quranic texts and teachings of this Jew hatred that is fueling and spurring this war. It has nothing to do with Samaria, it has nothing to do with Judea. It has everything to do with the Jews having a homeland. And let me tell you something, they gotta have it. Look what's happening in Europe. They're being driven reluctantly. I don't know what Jews are still doing in Berlin. Forgive me, but I just don't get it. In France, I don't know what they're doing there after Ilan Halimi. And then Sarah Halimi. When last time I was in France, I will tell you, which was 2006, I went to see Jewish day schools, and every single one was chained up like Alcatraz. That's where you're sending your children? Get out of there. I hope not to see that happen in America. It's why I'm fighting. But like every other wandering Jew, I am prepared to move if I have to. Why? We must save the one place, the very first moral government in the history of man, based on individual rights and individual freedoms. The very first. And what kills me is that no Jew ever had it as good in any country as they had in America. And to see these left-wing Jews, the Bernie fathers. Let me tell you about the Bernie fathers. They plagued our house since time immemorial. When Moses said, I'm going up to the mountain, I got to chat with Hashem, there was the Bernie fathers building a golden calf. Oh yeah. When Moses said, listen, I'm going to send 10 Jews into into Israel, you'll have to tell me if it's good. 8 the Bernie fathers came out and said, it's terrible. 2 Pamela Geller came out and said, it's great, let's go. And they wandered the desert for 40 years. They're a plague on our house. And we must understand and recognize it. They are secular Jews who worship at the church of human secularism. This is their religion. My fiercest enemies are Jews. The Reform rabbis, every time I run an ad in defense of Israel, they have to do an ad attacking Pamela Geller. Shut up. I'm saving your ass. Shut up. The ADL has a whole dossier on it. So I don't want to hear what the Jews, the left-wing Jews say. They're not Jews to me. No. They didn't vote for Trump. The real Jews voted for Trump. Yeah. The 24% of the righteous religious Jews voted for Trump. I don't want to get too carried away here. I just want to say, I am the monster. Okay? You Google my name and I am a monster. But I have to leave here early at the crack of dawn on Tuesday to go to a sentencing that I've been asked to appear at, the ringleader of a Muslim group who plotted to behead me. He is found guilty on all charges. This is not the first plot, this is not the second plot, but I'm the hunted one. I want you to understand that you're living in a morally inverted world where good is evil and evil is good. The truth is a lie and the lie is the truth. And you have to be warriors for truth. And you have to be warriors for real justice, real social justice. And on that note, I leave you. It's Hanukkah. Maccabees, go fight.